Hey, Dr. Karen here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And this week's message from the universe, from Source, is choose your challenge. Now, what does that mean? Well, I have a meme that I'm going to be putting up. And if you're on my Facebook page or MeWe or Instagram, you'll be seeing it. And it basically says, choose your challenge or your challenge will choose you. And what I mean by that is that as humans, we continue to evolve and grow. And here's the thing, if we stay inside our comfort zone, we don't really evolve and we don't really grow. But that is what we need to do to not only survive, but also thrive. So the universe will give us challenges to grow us if we are not actively seeking those challenges. Now, some people might go, well, gee, I have a lot of challenge in my life already. Why should I do another challenge? Okay. Now, if you have a lot of challenges in your life already, I'm going to say there's a lot of people with a lot of challenges that don't see them as challenges, meaning that I'm not saying that you shouldn't see them as challenges or should see them as challenges, but that challenge is a part of human life. That is just part of being human. I know for some of you that may be aliens or earth angels in a human body. You're like, I'm done being human. Okay, give me my wings back, right? But okay, so just hear me out. So when I'm talking about choosing a challenge, it could be various different ones, but it's something that you set your focus and sights on so you can explore and express yourself, you know what I mean? And to grow yourself. So that might be a physical challenge. For example, my husband's very good at these. So he does barefoot hiking of mountains or, pull-ups with, 45 pounds strapped in, okay? So physical challenges. Now, physical challenges often include mental challenges, right? Because as you're physically challenging your body, your mind starts to go, can I do this? I'm not really sure. Is this safe? And there's all this mind frick, as one of my teachers used to call it, that would come up. So it really is mental growth and challenge as well to expand your beliefs and boundaries. So that's an example of a physical challenge with some mental challenge as well that we purposefully put ourselves through. Today, for example, well, I should say the last week or so, I decided that I was going to really commit because my body's doing so well these days, thanks to the pandemic. My body's so healthy and doing well these days that I've been practicing axles. Now, axles in figure skating are where you jump forward and you twirl 1.5 and then you land on one foot. Okay, so hard enough on the floor. It's actually, quite challenging on the ice. And if you knew how long I've been working on this challenge, you'd be like, oh my gosh, why hasn't she like given up already? You know what I mean? It is well over 10 years, probably 15 years, okay, that I have been working on this axle. Now, I put working in quotes because have I really committed to it? Not really, because if things pop up, life pops up, business pops up, knee swelling pops up, and I'm off ice for, so I think that there's a bit of a courage issue here as well, because it is one of the most difficult jumps I've ever done. But lately I've been feeling very strong, thanks to being home, the pandemic, my husband building a CrossFit gym. So I'm doing some CrossFit now. So I'm definitely feeling stronger. I'm doing some Pilates, off ice training. So I definitely feel a lot stronger. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to go for it. So one of the ways I go for it is I envision myself doing it with all the body mechanics in my mind. So I skate in my mind, which I used to do a lot of when I first started skating and so passionate about it. Anything I was thinking about was about skating. But then, other things took over, other passions took over, my business took over, and I love what I do in my business. So, all the books I'm writing, anyway. So skating definitely took a back seat. And of course, not having ice time during the pandemic, it took a back seat. But I decided a couple of weeks ago, you know what, I'm going to start jumping axles in my mind. And then I started getting a lesson. I got a lesson on it, and I started understanding differently than I did over the last 10 years. And sometimes it takes a lot of repetitions for a coach to tell me something, or various coaches to tell me something, and I get a little piece here, a little piece there. But I think it sort of clicked in because today I actually landed an axle. Now, it's not pretty, okay, but it was on one foot, and was amazing. And various, probably out of 50 tries, there was maybe one that, or two that was like, and so I just got to rinse and repeat. So that is an example of a challenge that I choose to do. And yes, it's physical, but very mental as well, right? Especially as an adult. And we're thinking, gosh, my friend, well, I'm not really thinking this, I just thought of it this moment, but my friend broke her arm, and there's all these, adult things that children often don't think about when they go and play, because skating is like play, right? So they're playing and they don't think about, they jump in the air, twirl around, so they land, on their backside. But adults kind of go, oh, I want to go to work the next morning, right? So we can get scared about it. But what the great thing is when you have a great mentor and coach, Mimi is my coach on the ice and right now, and she just said to me, you're gonna land this today. She had that much certainty. So I was like, well, if she's certain, I might as well be certain, right? So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that today. So it really helps to have a mentor as well. So beyond physical challenges, there are a lot of other challenges that you can choose as well. It could be your diet, right? You could choose to be like, I'm going to go sugar-free for 30 days. I'm going to read everything on the label and I'm going to freaking do this, right? And every time I fall, I'm going to recommit, right? Or it could be something else that could be emotional. It could be, hey, I'm going to journal and I'm going to figure out what's going on with my emotions. I'm going to check to see, if it's mine, clear it if it's not. Maybe you are challenging yourself by learning a new technology, learning how to do Zoom, for example, or learning how to get on a webinar, or figure out how PDFs work. Maybe you're challenging yourself because you are so, into writing a book and you've wanted to do it for 20 years and you're finally going to do it and you're going to sit down and start writing, right? And there's spiritual challenges, and that could be, challenging yourself to meditate or be in stillness more and more of the time. It could be reading spiritual books. It could be watching a telesummit series or a docu-series about healing and vibration and frequency and whatever. So there's all these different challenges. And as we continue growing ourselves, if we're in the direction that's aligned with our divine path, okay, whatever obstacles or outer challenges that seem to come into our lives, they really don't seem as big in comparison to if you are not purposefully challenging yourself and you're staying in your comfort zone. So I like to say, choose your challenges, otherwise they'll choose you, okay? And also your comfort zone is highly, if you coast, okay, if you're like just coasting, you're not trying to grow, you're just like trying to stay safe, and safe is a 4-letter word. I'm sorry, it is. Safe is a 4-letter word, okay? There's a thing about feeling safe in your body. I get that, okay? The feeling safe, I'm not saying that's bad, okay? But the desire to have your outer reality be the way you wish it to be so you can be safe, that's a 4-letter word. That's just gonna get you, frustrated and not joyful, let's put it that way. So if you coast, you're toast. My other saying. I have a lot of sayings today, right? Yeah, so if you coast and you just stay within your little comfort zone, okay, I'm safe here, nothing's gonna happen to me. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. That is not how it works. The challenge will choose you. And now sometimes, even though you think that you're doing the most amazing growth work, sometimes it goes even deeper and the universe will give you an even deeper challenge. I'll give you an example. Cancer. Cancer is one of those diagnoses that creates a shudder of fear in most people. I say most because I'm not there, but because I have a different perspective and learn different things and, that kind of thing, right? So even if I was diagnosed with cancer, fear would not be part of the equation, but it is for, I think, 99.9% of people. You know, fear, cancer equals a death sentence. Okay, there's all these beliefs, and unfortunately they're beliefs, and we manifest based on our beliefs. So if you happen to have a challenge, such as being diagnosed with cancer, then I would say challenge yourself to ask, okay, so this is what the universe has given me. There's a reason for this. Somehow it's for my highest and greatest good to have this at this time. So what is it that I am to do? Evolve, learn. It doesn't mean necessarily you did anything wrong. Now, sometimes you could have done certain things or made certain choices. For example, if someone is, I had a patient way back when who had a spot on the mammogram. They did a biopsy. It said it was cancerous. So she came in crying in the office, and we did, you know, some emotional work together. But what I knew from her life was that she couldn't say no. And I told her, look, your body is saying no for you. It's doing you a favor, because if you tell people I have cancer, they're backing off. They're not going to ask you for extra, right? Oh, okay. You know, what can I do to help you? Right? They're there to offer help for you, right? But if you're perfectly fine and you can't say no, then you are like, you know, potentially if you're codependent, you're like a magnet for people trying to ask you for stuff, you know, ask you for help. But if you have a diagnosis, I had fibromyalgia, you know, so that was my diagnosis to say, hold on, I can't be everything to everyone. And the diagnosis had to speak for me until I could find my own voice. So sometimes cancer is one of those beautiful things that the universe gifts us, so we have that backup, so we can say no, so we can nurture ourselves better. And this particular patient, I said, look, you have a choice. You either start saying no, okay, and be truthful and authentic, or you continue lying and pretending it's okay and keep saying yes to everyone. You have to have cancer, so the universe will keep telling you that and then give you an excuse. So your choice. I didn't say it that rudely, but that's the gist of it, right? And she's like, I'm done. I'm learning to say no. I don't want this cancer. I said, okay. Right? So she walks out of my office. She starts saying no to her boss, no to this person, no to that person. You know, the funny thing, she got promoted. She got promoted to a different job. She wasn't like doing like everybody's work for them. She got promoted and she got more money. She worked less, meaning like she wasn't crazy, like trying to do everybody else's job like what she was before, because she started saying no. And she retired. And well, actually, before she did that, you know, they actually rescanned her and did another biopsy. They could not find the cancer. So they're like, well, I guess we're not really treating you with anything, because I guess you're in remission or you got cured. I don't know. We don't know what happened, right? We'll just monitor you, right? So she is so thrilled, okay, because I mean, she got it, and she got it quickly, okay. Now, is every instance of cancer having to do with codependency and not being able to say no, or not being able to take care of yourself, or sacrificing yourself for others? No, it's common in women, especially breast cancer, but not necessarily that. There could be so many different patterns. Another former client of mine, she's a healer, and she got a diagnosis of cancer, and her purpose in getting cancer was to be able to navigate conventional medicine, spiritual medicine, and energy healing, because she had let's just say she had very, very strong negative thoughts about treatment of cancer and cancer therapies and conventional medicine, right? So anything we hate, okay, and with a passion, we actually attract to us to a certain degree. So her job as a whatever she was, earth angel, was to heal that negative energy when it came to thinking about conventional medicine, and to bridge conventional and integrated medicine together in whatever beautiful way she was meant to bridge that. So that's just another example of how getting a challenging diagnosis can be a stepping stone to your evolution and your growth. Because sometimes, especially those of us that are highly sensitive people, sometimes our lives are made with challenges on purpose. We chose them before we were incarnated, so that we can overcome them with greater ease and grace, and therefore set up a positive morphic field or blueprint for the rest of humanity to do the same. So yeah, some of us have a little bit tougher jobs than others, but there's no point in being jealous or envious of those that don't have to do as much work to heal or do as much work for the world, because they're a younger soul, that they're a soul on their journey as well. Whatever is challenging for them is still really challenging for them. Okay, maybe we think it's nothing because, oh, that's easy. You know what I mean? Because of all the major challenges we've had. But you did easy before. That's what I tell my clients. I said, look, in other lives you did easy. Okay, so you did choose a harder challenge. And you know, once they realize that, they're like, oh, okay. You know, because they thought there was something wrong with them. They thought that they were doing something wrong, and that's why these challenges are coming up. Law of attraction, what am I doing and thinking? Law of attraction, it's not, you know, it's not working. No, it's a little bit more sophisticated and refined than what most people think law of attraction is. Law of attraction, they think is, oh, you know, if I think negative thoughts, then I attract negative, you know, things to me. But here's the thing: is sometimes negative, so-called negative things happen because you're at a stage in your evolution that you can overcome it. And when you overcome it, you back up, reinforce, or create a brand new morphic field for other people in similar situations to be able to overcome it easier as well. So we're not just healing ourselves, we're healing all of humanity. So choose your challenge, otherwise it will choose you. That is my advice for this week, and advice from source. So speaking of all of humanity, for those of you that are highly sensitive souls who have a role in healing all of humanity, which is a little different than mass consciousness per se, but we're talking about every human in not just on this planet, but every human in every planet, in every reality, in every dimension, in every timeline and quantum stream. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, all of humanity. So some of us are doing some healing for all of humanity. I noticed last week that I was partially automatically proxying for all of humanity. So there was a part of me, not all of me, but part of me, one of my systems, was proxying for all of humanity, which means that through me, all of humanity is healing. Now, of course, when I catch that, I'll often do the healing much, much faster. The reason is sometimes I am slightly symptomatic when that happens. And the latest symptoms happen to be itching on the inner thigh. Random, right? Yeah. Well, I much prefer that than other things like, I don't know, swollen knee or back pain or, you know, something weird like that. Itching on the inner thigh, very quick. Because itching is like, you almost like can't stand it, right? But it's not like life or death, and you don't feel like you're really ill or anything like that. So I kind of prefer that because at this point, my mind still gets so busy that I'm not necessarily tuned in to my angelic, you know, team going, could use your help in this, you know, so they have to give me some sort of sign. Luckily, I catch it really early now. So I start testing, doing my muscle testing, doing my healing. Within a few minutes, then the itching goes away. And I was like, phew, I got that one. So for me, it's been inner thigh itching and waking up in the middle of the night. Now, usually that is not a big deal because if I'm awake, then I just go, okay, what's going on, right? And I do a few questions, see if there's healing to be done. And then if there is, I do it. And then, you know, I'm back to sleep in 10 minutes. So it's usually not that big a deal. But if you happen to be a person that is proxying or partial proxying for all of humanity, if it is for the highest and greatest good for you to be doing that, you may have all sorts of like interesting, sometimes small, sometimes bigger symptoms. So you may need to learn how to direct healing to all of humanity. And this usually I do it through divine muscle testing. So in my Light Warrior Network group, in my Light Warrior support group, you know, we have many sensitive souls that may be doing this work, and they've learned to do divine muscle testing, so they can check in to see whose stuff is this, right? And am I supposed to be processing it for the other, or are my boundaries just low, or some other reasons why I'm feeling something, too much empathy, you know? So there's all these different varieties of things that can happen. So it'll be interesting to see what else is healing for all of humanity. I can report that this week, the number of times that I've partially auto-proxied, we've been healing what in German New Medicine is called conflict shocks. So in this case, this is a shared conflict shock for all of humanity, which I think is very interesting because that's a lot of people. And normally when we resolve these things, we resolve them one person at a time. Sometimes we can do groups, but this is the biggest group I've ever done to create a positive morphic field to help resolve conflict shocks. So that's pretty interesting. So that may be why I needed to know about it. And conflict shocks are traumas, basically. So collective trauma. So automatically resolving collective trauma. So there is now a positive morphic field that I set up called an automatic alignment activator that automatically helps to auto-resolve conflict shocks for all of humanity in all timelines and all realities. Now, is it instantaneous for every single one? Not necessarily, because these things heal in layers. And when we're focused on one, we can certainly heal it in a number of seconds. But when there's an automatic alignment activator going, it'll heal it over 7 days, you know, often. So just so you know that that is there, and that is something that you are part of, obviously, if you're human. All right, so a couple of announcements for this week on Light Warrior Radio. On Monday's show, I am interviewing Dr. Richard Ruling. And he's an internist. Yeah, he's an MD like me. And he's going to be talking about how medical care is not healthcare, and how, as a conventionally trained medical doctor, how he had completely done a 180, realizing that our medical system is broken. So we're going to have, I'm sure, a very heated and vibrant conversation about the medical system, big pharma, what's going on in the world, America, governments, you know, what parts are broken, and then what do we really need to do to fix it, not just to stay healthy individually, but how do we get a nation, how do we get a country, how do we get the world really healing, like really being healthy, as opposed to just relying on conventional medical care, and which is not really doing the job. So that's why we have more heart disease, more diabetes. And in fact, Dr. Ruling, he's written a number of books, and one of the things he said is the leading cause of death is medical care. Yeah, the leading cause of death in his mind is medical care. So it's going to be really interesting on Monday, and you can definitely call in live. It's a live show. So it's 12 noon Eastern on Light Warrior Radio, and I will post the link to that radio show somewhere near this video. The other announcement I want to share with you is the Healing with Vibration Telesummit is happening next week. And this is, the host is one of my former VIP clients and colleague, wonderful, wonderful man, Lloyd Burrell, and he's an expert at EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, you know, 5G, you know, all that kind of stuff. And you know, he wanted to do a telesummit on the other part of it. In other words, you know, he has telesummits talking about the harm, you know, 5G can do, and EMF radiation, that kind of thing. But, you know, this Healing with Vibration telesummit is all about frequency. At the end of the day, it's the frequency that your body uses to actually, for its biological actions. I didn't know that till very recently. You know, I thought, well, I take vitamin C, it's a chemical, not chemical, but, you know, a natural substance, but it has a chemical composition in the body and that activates some sort of receptor, you know. But interestingly, you can actually use light and frequency to affect your cells and your biology without biological substances. Yeah, which is like, whoa. So we're talking sound, we're talking light, we're talking energy healing, right? Like all these different ways. So the Healing with Vibration Telesummit is going to be super exciting. And I am being interviewed by Lloyd in that summit as well. So I hope you catch my interview as well. Definitely register. It's free to register and listen to the whole telesummit. If you want all the talks and everything like that, you can get like a VIP or all access pass. I believe it's like half price or some ridiculous low price, you know, at the very beginning before the telesummit starts. I believe. Anyway, sorry about that. There's so many telesummits I'm on. Anyways, I'm super excited about this one. A lot of great speakers in it. Yeah, so I'm really kind of like feeling, woo, I'm hobnobbing here with some pretty awesome folks. So definitely register for that, and I will definitely put that link right here close to the video. So register for that right away and tell your friends and family about that as well. And I think you're really going to love the interviews, and these are video interviews. And I hope you get a chance to watch mine as well. Yeah, so that's the news and the announcements for today. And oh, last announcement I wanted to share is that if you're one of the awesome souls that bought a copy of my #1 bestseller, not Guide to Healing Chronic, but I often say that, my #1 bestseller, the second #1 bestseller, Evolutionary Healer, last week after the launch. So happy that it hit #1 in new releases, energy healing and mental and spiritual healing. Super, super cool. I want to thank you, give you a huge virtual hug to thank you for supporting us healers, for supporting me. And if you have a copy, of the book and would like to be in an energy healing class with me, I'm going to be doing group energy healing. It's not going to be a huge group, so you're going to have a lot of special like one-on-one time more than likely with me. What you got to do is read 1 or 2 chapters in the Evolutionary Healer book and post it on Amazon. Okay, it takes a couple days sometimes for Amazon to get that link going, and then use that link to fill out this form and submit it to us. Now, if you haven't already gotten your gift for buying the book, it is at KarenKan.com/EHB gift. So Evolutionary Healer book gift. So EHB gift. You put your name, email, and your Amazon link in there. The invoice number or order number for your Amazon book. Then you go to a thank you page so you can download your free gift as well as a PDF copy of the book. And that way you can read a couple chapters right away, or even just one. Doesn't have to be mine. Okay. In fact, a lot of people, wrote reviews about mine, but you can definitely write reviews about other people too, please. And post it, on Amazon. And then there's a form right there on the thank you page that you fill out, and you put that review link there, and then you'll be registered for the October 2nd healing class. So I definitely want you to do that if you're interested in getting some mini healings from me in a smaller group setting. It's usually highly coveted to be in those classes. Now that I do very, very few one-on-ones in my practice now. So yeah, and if you already wrote a review, thank you so much for doing that. I'm so grateful for you for supporting our work. And sometimes there are books out there on Amazon, and if they get 5 reviews, they're lucky, but we've gotten probably at least 16 so far, and it's only been a week. So like I said, my tribe is amazing and engaged. Thank you so much for supporting us in our work and for getting that word of energy healing out there, right? It's like, yeah, so excited. All right, so until next week, lots of love. Remember to choose your challenges, and I would love for you to even post, underneath this video, what kind of challenge you're choosing if you'd like to share. I already shared some of mine, and there's plenty, but I just shared a couple of mine, but I'd love for you to share below this video, comment, what challenge are you choosing for, your evolution and your growth. And until next time, lots of love. Bye for now.